watching Minute to Skim It on the Experience. So, hello. All right, we've got lots of books to review for you guys today. And Hannah just basically showed up just the number ones and showed them to me, and I was like, "Oh, we have
just for the indies."
Just for the indies, yeah. I was like, we have got a lot to do.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's going on, everybody?
We got, hey, there's Dave. Let's see.
Roll call, is everybody in?
Nick is the Beyonce of the show.
People,
Dave's already started, man. Dave's on fire.
What Dave started already?
Yeah, well, I think he missed the last show, so he's on fire.
Hey, somebody was absent, and it wasn't us, Dave.
So this will be our first attempt at an Amy-less show. She's away for the week. So this could go horribly then.
Going down in...
So, hey, Ron. What's going on, buddy?
Cue the Hindenburg going down in flames.
So,
video.
Ron, you were at a con this weekend, I believe. Was it?
Well, let's get the report. Was it terrific on in Connecticut?
No, I don't think so. What, the one in D.C., WonderCon?
Awesome Con.
Which one?
Awesome Con.
Awesome Con. There we go. Ignore the voice behind the curtain. So you got me and John here. So we'll muddle through the best we can. We got Nick over there, but
He's not really here.
he's not really here. I mean, he'll jump
It's a
in.
hologram.
We can't count on him with Post-it notes.
He's the publishing emergency hologram, like in Star Trek. If we have a question, we turn him on.
So to get it out of the way, all right, because I can segue into it, because Nick wanted us to do Post-it notes. I'll explain in a minute. Okay, but we are having the Experience is having a cosplay contest as part of our Post-it anniversary.
And the prize is Post-its? That's a terrible prize.
I know, isn't it? Kyle, you got to rethink this.
Come on, man, $10 at least.
Post pics of yourself in your cosplay and use hashtag the EXP cosplay. Okay, no space. All right, so we'll mention it again right before the second break about the cosplay contest. And so Nick's idea was to for us to put Post-it notes on.
Spoiler, you ruined it.
Well, dude, we're not doing it. It's first of all, it's not environmentally sound. Okay.
We don't have the budget for that many Post-its to cover me.
Our office has a short of Post-it notes right now. We're all scrambling around. It's become the coin of the realm. When people ask you for help, you go, hey, I can help you, but I'm going to need half a pack of Post-it notes. This is how things get done around here.
No, this is the best way to let people know. Prices are going up here at Dynamite Con.
Well, gee, Nick, if you're going to bring snacks, bring enough for me and John in the future. I mean, come on,
I have DoorDash on my phone. The food will be here in 15 minutes.
I'm not touching the pizza anymore because I never get a slice. That's just
no, you're not supposed to.
Did you notice that?
That's for 10 years of service. You get pizza. Or in my case, 10 years of readership. You didn't even remember a book that came out 10 years ago. Meanwhile, I remember Scott Geary wrote it.
Listen,
and I think Carlos Raphael
drew it. If you're going to pass pizza through me, I get a slice. Okay, that's the way that works.
That does not sound appealing.
I don't want to get one.
And on that note, why don't you tell me to pull a comic? We'll try.
All right, we're going to try something different today. Okay, because John's kind of haphazard method.
I do. I just grab one
of picking books is giving me a headache. So we're going to go in an order. Okay, in an orderly fashion. Okay, you all right, buddy? Because I don't know the hunter.
I totally.
Okay? Although we have those paddles, I've never actually used them. I'm not technically qualified to use them, but I've always wanted to try them.
I have been defibrillated more than once, so it's not the best.
This may be the last time if I'm doing it, buddy. Does it mean something when it goes red?
Yeah.
So, all right, we're going to start tonight.
You needed to charge us first?
Oops. Poof, poof, poof. Guess he's done.
Do it to the brain. Do it on the temples.
Brain.
I saw that in a movie at one time. All right, so we're going to go with Magnus Robot Fighter #1, the high-end Tom Fowler Vegan Art Ultra Limited.
Nice.
Okay.
That means only 25 copies of this bad boy.
Don't massage the books here, bud. Come on now.
Only 25 copies of this.
You know what we forgot?
What?
We're going to have to ask the man behind the curtain.
What?
The Wizard of Oz. Guess what we forgot, Wizard?
What?
The X-Men.
Make sure you
See
make
what
room
happens?
on Rex's side of the.
See what happens? We're 6
You know
minutes
what?
into the show without Amy, and look,
After our
it's already a hot mess.
if you're here for Bronze Age books, it'll be a few minutes.
So, all right, here we go. So, suggested retail of $100, but we're going to do it tonight. We have just the one available at this price. We're going to do the one for $19.63 the year Magnus first appeared.
In gold key comics.
Whoa, limited to 25?
Yep.
What? What did he say?
This is limited to 25, so we
It's
probably
limited to 25, the man behind the curtain says. Is it?
it is limited to 25.
It is limited to 25.
Someone
So, 25 were ever printed, okay? So here
Yeah.
we go. So let's read the comments. Ron, back from Awesome Con. I'm surprised his wife let him watch the show tonight. Maybe she went out. He went way past his budget. Woo! I am really surprised. She must have gone out for dinner with friends or something. All right, John goes back in time with his magic watch to get 10 years of readership. Kind of
He
watch
must have
that
had
on.
buffalo wings for dinner. That's why he spent all his money.
What kind of watch is this? This is a Ballast Model 3 orange on black.
Ballast.
Ballast. This was a great company. It was a UK company that did watches for a while in this country, and I was one of the spokespersons.
All
I
right.
hate to say spokesmodel.
Careful, these are all
but-
high grade.
These are all high grade,
Ooh.
and then we're going to let John touch them, and then they will become medium grade.
the CGC person just shaking their head, going, "Nope."
Going, no, don't do it. They go, nah, it's all right. You know what? We're all
Oh,
packed up
and
anyway.
just so you know, somebody should buy this before I take it home. Magnus is one of my all-time favorite characters.
All right, so we're going to leave these here next to John so he can breathe on them.
They're supposed to be on your side. You are not
What?
listening to the publisher's instructions.
Once the camera's on, I'm like a wild man. Can't help it.
Amy!
Let's see. Ron says he can't afford to pay attention right now. Good thing you're watching our show. Does not take a whole lot of attention span for you to watch our show. All right, so what
More
do we do?
pay-per-view? Are we paying people to watch this? Because that's where we've gone now.
All right, so
Is
Magnus,
that like Vince McMahon pay-per-view?
We went
except the opposite.
we went from humbly saying thank you for letting us into our home to $9.99 to watch.
Think that'll work?
Or,
No.
as Kevin Nash once did in WCW, pay-per-view, get it?
Let's see. Yes, cosplay. Thank you for putting that up there. All right, so Magnus Robot Hunter. We have the one.
Fighter.
19
That's it. You're out of the
Robot Fighter. Jeez,
you're out of the shot.
I'm telling you, dude. It's
This
already
is-
been a long week. It's Monday.
This is really nice.
$19.63. We have the one available at that price. All right, so what should we do next?
I don't know.
Let's
You have the list.
That's right. That's right. I have the list. We're going to do this.
I
in
am
orderly
very
fashion.
much the kid with the shiny
Did
keys.
nobody buy the Magnus?
Not
Nobody
yet.
has bought the Magnus yet.
I think somebody should jump on the Magnus.
I do
Okay.
too, because you don't want it to be me.
All right, so this should change everything. Nick believes somebody should buy the Magnus.
Although actually, someone should buy this. That's all I'm saying.
Don't worry about it. John will buy it. So what do
Yeah,
we
but
care?
what's the point in that? I just wander to the back, take home what I want anyway. God forbid. The Mount Laurel Police Department is like, we'll be right there.
And this is why we're tightening the security of the building.
The police just come right over. Is this him? Yeah.
All right, let's do Pathfinder. City of Secrets, number one. Another ultra limited edition cover. So we're covering both of those today.
This is nice. I played in a game of this at Gen Con a few years ago with the creator of Pathfinder. I can't remember the name now. The top, not Scott. I'm trying to think of his name. The guy who created Pathfinder. Super cool guy.
So we have two available. Suggested retail of $19.99. We're going to do it for $10 for the perfect 10 read tonight.
Nice.
So we only have two of those available.
This is a very cool game system and an even cooler comic. This was like a great, I don't want to say antidote, but this was a great alternative to D&D. It really was. People were kind of getting tired of the versions and the rules, and Pathfinder is just a very, very cool, it's a very cool setting.
You got a critic. Dave says the more John pinches the corners of that Magnus, the lower it goes on my list.
Well, you know what? Nick doesn't want me to hold it a certain way, and now Dave apparently is picky, although I really need to see Dave's money before I take him too seriously. So I have to use telekinesis to hold this thing. Because if I pick it up here, Nick is like, you're bending it, and if I pick it here in the corner, apparently gives Dave the vapors. Like, I'm not sure how you want me to hold these.
Just pull it out of the book.
Just pull it out. Here,
come on.
No, I
Live on the edge, buddy.
I'm not taking anything out.
Is that limited?
What, this?
The Pathfinder.
This cover, I think, is absolutely limited. 100 copies.
100 copies ever printed.
Why
for
am I having
$10.
to tell a highly placed executive at this firm why this is limited? That's you. I'm just a guy off the street.
100 copies ever printed.
We're paying them with buffalo wings.
Which makes for greasy fingers. Hey, Adam, shoot me an email, rex.wang@dynamite.com, and we'll take a look at that. Off the top of my head, not sure which one it was, but shoot me an email, and first thing in the morning, I'll definitely hop on that for you. Ronald's going to take one of the Pathfinders. All right, so Ron, I got you down for one. All right, let's jump to something else now. All right, you ready? Are you finished? Texting your friends?
Just trying to know. I'm trying. It's annoying me that I can't remember the creator of Pathfinder's name.
Well, we're not going to wait for you.
His name. No, we'll find it. He DM'd a whole thing for Pathfinder.
Jason Pullman.
Thank you, at Gen Con a couple of years ago. Super nice dude. Was super excited when the comic was going to come out. So
I'm going to write down Adam's name just so I have it. All right, and Adam, I will take a look at that first thing in the morning for you. All right, so the email again is rex.wang@dynamite.com.
we have 2 copies of this, right? Yeah, we have 2 copies of this.
We have 2 copies of that. So
Not anymore.
that's right. We only have 1 copy now because Ron took one. That's right. See, who said Nick wasn't good at math? All right, so let's jump to something else. What do you think?
I got scolded for jumping, so you decided we had to do the paper chase now. So you let me know what book you'd like to hold up.
I'll tell you what.
Although Dave won't be happy with how I hold it up, so.
What do you have?
Everybody's
Can't make everybody happy.
Everybody's a critic.
Let's do True Believers Hulk. Red Hulk. There you go.
I was going to say, we have a couple different ones.
We do.
Man, this is, somebody signed this in the Gold Signature Series.
That would be Jeff Loeb.
Man, there's only 35 of these.
So suggested retail of $89.99. Tonight we're going to do it for $80. We have 2 available at this price. And Jeff Loeb signatures are getting hard to find.
Yeah, I mean, we have creators now that, we've talked a lot about, the pandemic and the way things kind of get nerfed or whatever. But we have creators now that they hit like a huge amount of success, and they sort of, they get snatched by Hollywood or, one of the streaming services, and their ability to hit as many cons as they used to, spend hours signing. It's not there sometimes. That's why I was in a Facebook group chat last weekend, and somebody asked me, and I said, yeah, it's actually getting easier and we've talked about this before, if you want to get books graded, if you want to get books signed, it's a whole process. I mean, I want to kind of take a second and explain to people, by the time you get the book hacked and shipped and mailed and back, and there's a lot of moving parts there. There's a lot of attention, emails, this and that, text alerts. Essentially, if you want a Jeff Loeb signature, just, type claim. JD will post a link, hit the link, fill it out. Rex sends your book off.
So Dave says Red Hulk looks like he needs a cheesesteak. Dave, everybody can use a cheesesteak. So that's the way I look at that.
Yeah, kid.
So, all right. So we have, what did I say? Red Hulk, number 1.
I had cheesesteak this weekend from my buddy Doug, who owns Dad's Deli.
Yeah, I saw you post something about Dad's Deli. Why do I know Dad's Deli?
A lot of people in town know Dad's Deli. He sponsors a lot of local stuff in Marlton and Mount Laurel. Girls soccer, girls softball, youth, I think, Pee-wee football or whatever it is. And He's just an all-around good guy. He's a graduate of Johnson & Wales Culinary School.
Okay.
So he really knows his stuff.
Wait, Dad's Deli's by the Rias.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know exactly where it is.
Yeah. When he
makes football season, they do ribs.
Yes, they have all kinds of stuff.
I've definitely been there.
It's not calling it a deli is a little bit of a short sell because I'll tell you right now, I've had roast beef in places like Vegas, San Francisco, Honolulu. His roast beef ranks right up there, and this is like a little
I don't
place.
think I've ever had the roast beef. Yeah, but I know exactly. No wonder it seems so familiar. You must drive by there like 50 times.
He makes a great cheesesteak, and he uses both. He uses ribeye, which is the recommended cut, but he also
uses cheese and steak.
He also uses some of the leftover prime rib from the roast beef, and I gotta tell you, man, between the seasoning and the tool, boy,
they're not open late though.
They're not open now. No, they're done every day by 3 o'clock.
Yeah, they do that breakfast rush.
That's the only thing. The breakfast sandwiches are great. Lunch sandwiches are great. If you want dinner from Dad's, you had better call in your order with lunch.
And just a reminder to everybody out there, those of you that join us before, you hear this every time, but hit like, hit subscribe.
The notification bell, so you know when we're coming on. Share with your friends if you kind of enjoyed the show, and if you don't enjoy the show, share it with your friends anyway, because that's a great.
Just because you don't doesn't mean they won't.
Well, share it with your enemies then. You know what better punishment than to have to stare at me.
I was just gonna say, you're gonna love this. And I hate these guys. Yeah, we get that a lot.
All right, so let's jump to something else.
Definitely share. We need more.
Yes, I mean, the more the merrier. The more people we have, the more of Nick's stuff we can sell at embarrassing low prices. So,
should we do a remark alert? Pick one. You're allowed to pick one.
What do we have here? What do we have here? Deadpool.
There we go.
It's kind of hard not to take Deadpool.
Let's go with the Deadpool. Which one is
Deadpool in the Merc for Money, number 1. This is signed and remarked by Brian Kong. Man, I got to tell you, this thing is like a serious. This is like a serious buy. This isn't like, I picked this up off the street. No, this is.
It's actually a tremendous sketch. I mean, we are Ken Haeser fans.
Oh yeah, no, but that doesn't mean we don't appreciate this work.
So Deadpool, the Merch for Money number 1, signed and remarked by Brian Kong. Suggested retail of $89.99. Tonight we're going to do it for $50.
$50. I'll tell you right now. You get this for $50. I would get this slabbed. It's in nice shape. It is.
You might have to wait a while.
That's
the only downside.
Maybe we start a slabbing business. We'll just dip it in liquid acrylic, and this is just a really nice book. It's sort of that. It's not quite a blank variant. It's like the ashy variant or whatever. I've seen this only a couple times.
Ron's taking a Deadpool.
Ron, you should take the Deadpool. This thing is sweet.
All right, Ron, it's yours, buddy. So actually, you know how the slabbing process works? Actually, I'm not sure if it's the same for comics, but I know for cards, they use a sonic welder. So the slabs come in, and they have little pebbles, little like balls of plastic, and the sonic welder melts the little BBs around it, and that's how you get the seal.
That's probably the right answer in my mind. Comics get slabbed like Han Solo goes in carbonite. And here's your book, and they put the sticker on it with the made-up number that they said, 7.5, 9.8, whatever, and they just send it out.
You read way too many comic books. If that's your first thought.
That's my first thought for almost everything.
It's not good. That's not good, Jeff.
People are like, we need to find alternate ways to intern the deceased. I got it. Absolutely got it.
You'll be the first.
Turn them into wall art.
I assume you've already informed your wife this is how you want to be interned?
That was a long time ago, actually. I made two.
Like Han Solo?
I made two stipulations in my will. One was there was to be a wake at my friend's bar in Philadelphia, McGillen's, and the other one was if the technology is available, I want to be put in carbonite. Yeah, and
she's probably going, what the hell is carbonite?
No, my wife. Oh, come on. 25 years with me, please.
Oh man. All right. So, what do you want to hop to next? Let's see.
You said we had to read from the roster diligently.
Yeah, I know, but that lasts for about 15 minutes. I don't care anymore.
You know what? Why don't we do this? It's a remark.
Another
Put the remark
alert?
alert back up. Normally, I don't do back-to-back remarks, but this thing
You do? What
is.
are you talking about?
You've done 7 Ken Haeser books in a row. Yeah, I know. The Black Knight, Curse of the Ebony Blade.
Ooh, that's the one in silver paint pen?
This is the one in silver and gold metallic ink. This is about as cool as this character has ever looked. I got to tell you, they've tried to get this character over a bunch of times with varying ranges of varying degrees of success. This is the best this character has looked by far.
This is back to our buddy Ken Haeser.
Ken Haeser.
Remarked and signed.
This isn't just this isn't a blank variant. It's a black blank variant. So already it's a little bit more difficult to work with.
Right.
Ken decides, hey, let me grab some metallic inks. Like that makes it any easier. And look at that cover.
Suggested retail of $89.99. We're going to do it tonight for $50. 5-star book at $50. And we have the one.
For $50, this is one of these books that I would seriously consider. And I'm not a huge fan of getting books slabbed because I really enjoy the experience of reading them. But something like this, I mean, I would never touch this. This is something that goes on the shelf for a while and I look at it. Ken is that good.
Touching it now.
CGC is watching, right? And every time I touch it, it goes like 9.8, 9.8, and the counter goes down.
I got a little chart with a meter.
By the time the show ends, 7.5.
Be a little generous, aren't you? 7.5.
I have to tell you, though, we've talked about this before. You can get yourself, this anything with Ken Haeser is my Ferris Bueller mindset of, if you have the means, I highly recommend getting one. Ken can only do so many. We only have so many. These things, I don't know if you're going to see a lot of these in the wild, especially Ken does these sort of very cool takes, personalizations on different things. I'm kind of waiting to see Ken do like Captain America's shield and all the different takes he's going to have on Captain America's shield.
Kind of like Thor's hammer.
Like Thor's hammer.
Right.
That when he did that with the Thor. If you can,
we're not saying that he's going to do this.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying that.
John's just taking his trip down fantasy lane again.
Yeah, I'm just sort of.
This ain't Fantasy Island, buddy.
No, if I had my choice, like if Nick steps out, I'm jump right into that publisher desk. I'm going to call Ken, and I'm going to need the different versions of Green Hornet over the years. I'm going to need the different versions of the car. I'm going to need the Black Beauty from the 60s, from the 30s.
Shocker, somehow we managed to find a way to mention Green Hornet again. All right, what did Dave write? John, I loved your new top and bottom display technique. You're like the dynamite version of Vanna White. Dana White, if you're watching, we apologize for that comparison.
Yeah, I know, right? Vanna White's attorneys are on the phone as we speak. Never say her name again.
Oh my God, look, it's Vanna now. No, I'm kidding. All right, so what did we cover? That was 2 remarks. And
let's do a slag book.
All right,
You're sitting right here staring us in the face. Literally, this one's staring us in the face. This is Detective Comics 1000. Wow. Look at
it. Variant cover.
Variant cover. CGC graded 9.8. There's no presumption here. This is the number that CGC put on the book. And I'm going to try to just make sure people don't have too much glare.
We have one tonight at $89.99, and guaranteed the one you're going to get is this actually.
Yeah, you're going to get this one at 9.8.
Guaranteed 9.8. That is nice.
Who did this cover? Do you have that there? Because
probably have it somewhere.
Oh, it's Jock.
Yes, it's Jock. So flip the back around.
Why, you want them to see Shazam?
Well, let me ask you, what was your opinion of that movie?
We turn it into moviepoopshoot.com?
Why not? You can do that or talk about cheesesteaks if you want. I don't care. Either one works for me.
Captain Marvel, that version of Captain Marvel, is problematic in a lot of ways, because if you take him too far from his roots, the few surviving fans in retirement homes really, really, really get angry. If you try to do something new with them, like they did in that movie, which I thought was well done and very entertaining, it's difficult. It's a real sort of double-edged sword, I guess would be the best way to put it. I strongly recommend anyone who hasn't seen that movie, should go watch it.
Ron, you're asking about the Detective number 1000. If it's that one is $89.99, and we have only the one available at 9.8. If you're referring to another comic, let us know.
Yeah, you've seen covers like this before. These were very popular. I'm going to say like 2002 to maybe 2007 or 8. These sort of, the whole cover is the character's face, and I've got to see every pore and unshaved whisker, and they've always got a face like they're at a funeral or whatever. This was very popular for a while. Thankfully, around that time, I was reading stuff like Lone Ranger, but for some people, this is one of these. The variants they're trying very hard when they do stuff like Detective 1000. They're trying to touch on all the different eras and ages of when someone connected with a character. In this case, Batman. There's a whole ton of people out there that when they started really getting into Batman, this was the way this was the style was done. Right. Just like a generation before that, Kelly Jones. We had, you look at a Kelly Jones cover now and you're like, wow, dude, what were you thinking? What he's thinking was this was a hot new style, and his books were flying off the shelves.
Right.
That's what he was thinking. It's the same with. There are very few styles, I think, that have translated timelessly.
Ron, just want to confirm you're claiming that Detective 1000 graded 9.8. Or you're just asking about, that was following up asking about the price. Claimed. All right.
Okay.
So I'm going to write that down.
You know what? I'm going to kind of turn this around because because then we're looking at Captain Marvel. I think I'm just going to take this off here. I just don't want people to be looking at, without our Post-it notes of sold, I don't want people to be looking at this all night and going, oh, and then of course,
So before we go to break, just a reminder that we are running a cosplay contest as part of our Post-it anniversary. So post pics of yourself in your cosplay and use hashtag the EXP cosplay. All right. And no claim by Ron. Sorry, Ron.
Oh, he's not?
All right. He's not. Right. So you can just babble on and on about it.
No, that's fine. It's back on the rack. I know I feel bad when people are like, oh, that's awesome. And someone like Ron or Wilfredo bought it an hour ago and it's just sitting there. Before we go to break.
We got you, Ron. No worries, buddy.
We got about a minute or so before we go to break. And I'm going to put this out here again because I strongly recommend somebody take this. This is Magnus.
Oh, yeah. Magnus Robot Fighter
this
number 1.
This is the clean cover Magnus.
High-end Tom Fowler. Vegan art, ultra limited. Yeah. Suggested retail of $100, and we're going to do it tonight for $19.63.
Magnus was the best character to come out that year. Not only is this a really cool book, but
it's 6:30. Hey, JD, I guess we got to go to break, buddy.
So think about it. Take us to break, JD. We'll be back.
To be continued. 3 little words that hold the secret to the next great story. 3 words that will thrill you, confound you, give life to new possibilities. Every variation of To Be Continued is a promise of adventure, a promise of excitement, a promise of unseen wonders and unexplored worlds. A promise that every issue you read makes you a part of a never-ending journey, and behind every page there will be an unopened door waiting for you. This story to be continued at your local comic book shop today. Visit comicshoplocator.com today.
We're not on. Now we're on.
So you got me and John here. Let's see. What did Ron write? Let Nick know I got a.
Let's say Warren. What?
Juan Jin. I can't even see. My eyes are so bad. Juan Jin commission from Nick will read it. So anyway,
Nick will read it. Before we get back to anything, the first thing I want to do is I want to put this up here again because this is so good. I just sat here literally and stared at it during the break. This is a Ken Haeser remark. This is a remark reeler, maybe. As I was saying, this is funny. I don't mind saying this at all. The Black Knight is not really a character I connected with. I just sort of saw it as like a supporting character, background character. They've tried to get him over a few times. I'm not sure if they were successful. They should have called Ken Haeser, because I'll tell you right now, I'd reach into my pocket and pay for this. That's our 5-star read.
Don't you mean you'll run into your car and pay for this? You guys did that one.
I gotta run to the console. I'll be right back.
A couple of months
I think
back.
$50 is what we're asking for this?
Actually, $19.63
for the Black Knight.
Oh, the Black Knight. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I thought we were. My bad.
I
Knight,
really have to
$50.
figure out why your coffee why it smells like cough syrup. I'm a little bit concerned.
Should have brought me that coffee.
I know, right?
No, you're right. $50 tonight. Sorry.
Usually these are what, like $89.99 or something?
These, yeah. Most of the Ken Haeser stuff retails.
This is like a 40% savings. Really, really, this is the type of thing I strongly recommend someone consider picking up.
And just a reminder, hit like, hit subscribe, hit all the buttons except for the unlike button.
Yeah, no, you know what? Share it. No, you know what? If someone doesn't like it, I want to know that too, because I want to know why.
I don't want to know that. I want to repress that. Yeah,
I want to repress that.
Like all the other issues in my life. I just push it deep down. Nobody needs to know about it. Nobody cares.
Psychiatrist here at Dynamite is
just. That's right. I do put Irish in my coffee, my friend. Love St. Patty's Day, by the way. Just making it. Are we close? No, we're not, are we?
We're always close to St. Patrick's Day.
It will be at my house in about, what time is it?
If you follow me on Instagram most mornings, you'll see that my coffee is what's called Gaelic and garlic. My coffee is usually Italian in nature, from a place across the river in Philadelphia that I know. And usually with like a little Tullamore Dew in there to just sort of bolster. That's one of the little treats to myself now that I've retired, that I don't have to drive in the morning. Just, puts a little shine on the day.
Must have made watching Loki kind of hard, getting up at that hour all drunk and stuff.
No, that's...
Oh, you drank it?
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, I know it's true.
My wife, he won't stop.
All right, so let's move on to something else. You want to do a...
We talked about it.
Yeah, let's do a vintage book.
I was going to say, let's do a vintage book. We get asked about this a lot. We do the best we can.
And these are really good grades.
And I'd like to see this.
We're getting better at
there's something you're looking for specifically, reach out to the show and let us know. We can't guarantee we have everything, even as massive and multi-level as the Dynamite Vault is. However, we can always look for it. We can always see.
We'll do our best. I mean, if we have
try
it,
to get it.
Yeah, if we have it, you'll definitely see it on air. If we don't have it, we'll do our best to try to hunt it down somewhere.
I guess we'll start
Right to drop.
X-Men 97. I don't think this is this Havoc's first appearance? I think this might be Havoc's first cover appearance. I don't think it's the first appearance, but I think it's first cover appearance, if I remember correctly.
All right.
Dave Cockrum, who you may have heard of in connection to the X-Men, he did a few books.
This is a very, very clean copy. So we're getting better.
I was going to say, this is a real clean copy. What's the presumptive grade here?
The presumptive, ooh, big words. Big words coming from John tonight. The presumptive grade, I like that, is 8.5. And we have the one available with these vintage books. We turn them around, we get them, and then we turn them around and put them on.
Yeah, I mean, these are just...
So it's an 8.5, and we have the one tonight at 175. And this is a really nice copy.
Yeah, this is a really nice, really clean copy.
Show them the spine, John.
Stop with the spine. I barely want it in my hands. You know what? If they want to check the spine, it's $175.
You better go get the pennies out of your car.
No, for that, I dropped that book. I just Venmo Nick. I have my phone pre-programmed now.
Oh,
but
man.
This is a great way for people to fill in Silver Age, Bronze Age gaps. We'll always be trying to find those, chase books, the kind of things that people are looking for.
Right.
People are pretty active in Facebook groups, Twitter groups. They're always hunting for the books. You know what I mean?
And let us know. I mean, if there's something, a vintage book you're looking to fill in your collection, let us know. I mean, I can't guarantee we're going to be able to find it.
Yeah, I mean, if you'd love for Rex and Nick to find some great Gold Key Comics covers from the early 60s, I'd be happy to show them to you.
Nice. Nice. All right, so
Gold Key is just one of those. I love them. There are times where I've bought the same Gold Key comic 5 or 6 times. If I was just on the road or at a con or something, I'd see it sitting in a bin, unloved, Island of Misfit Toys. It's not Marvel. It's not DC. I don't know what to do with it, and I take them home with me. I found out I had like 7 copies of the same issue of Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea.
You just forget that you have it?
Partly I forget, but it's partly that it just offends me on like a spiritual level that something as cool as a Gold Key comic has been left to languish in the like 3 for $1 bin while you're choking down like the 937th version of Batman to come out that month. So
it's kind of like a rescue.
Yeah, it really is. Something about overexposure, underexposure that,
All right, so should we go to another ultra limited book? What do you think?
Sure.
Let's do Red Sonja number 11, the high-end Jenny Frison.
Ooh.
Also vegan art, ultra limited. What's it limited to?
This is limited to 50 copies.
So 50 copies ever printed. We have the one tonight. Suggested retail is 75. We have the one tonight for 50.
Another 5-star read. Just
5-star book.
Red Sonja is hot and getting hotter. It's almost like she's Dynamite's Batman. They can't put her in enough stuff. With good reason. Everybody loves Red Sonja. Jenny's take on the character is, I think, realistic and understated, and I really like that. I had someone ask me the different styles or whatever of the Dynamite artists. My go-to for almost any character tends to be Joseph Michael Lindster. I really sort of like that. And I don't count character. The easy answer for everything is Alex Ross, but that's not really a conversation. That's the end of the conversation. That's not the beginning of the conversation. Francisco Franco Villa, who just today posted a really cool cover of Blade on Twitter, which got reblogged by Wesley Snipes. He loved it. He was like, hey, wow, man, yeah, that was really cool.
That is really cool.
Francisco's had himself a busy day on social media. If you're watching this now, when we're done, go on Twitter. You should be following him anyway, but if you're not, go follow him. He's had a very busy day interacting with Wesley Snipes, and he sort of had a little bit of a discussion with Rob Liefeld. So, you check that out for yourself. But Francisco's a great guy. I followed him for pretty much since the jump. I'm fortunate enough to have him sign a couple things.
So we have the one
Green Hornets.
He has signed a green. He signed a Green Hornet for me in front of Jim Steranko. That's like the high point of me going to any con. I love that story. I had one in my bag.
Congrats, Ronald. That's awesome.
Yeah, that is good news, Ron.
What, his wife has left? Oh, not that good of news.
And Ron, tell us, let us know what the experience was at the con as well. We're curious.
I'm super glad when people are going to cons. I almost grill them. I almost feel like I'm like interviewing them. Like, what was it like? Where did you go? What were the hotels like?
Well, nowadays it's after such a long layoff. I mean, I think we're all kind of curious how, what it's like, what the crowds are like.
It's almost like it's the antithesis. They're antithetical because cons are crowded. I don't care where you are, cons are crowded, and they're asking you to, socially distance. Well, I'm very curious to see how they pull it off. I've seen certain pictures, and people are trying to stay apart, but when the creator comes out to start doing signing, that's 6 feet apart, becomes about a foot apart, especially when you've got some volunteer who means well, but it's like, roll up, squeeze in. And meanwhile, you've got the CDC, that's the exact opposite of what you to do.
Right.
Anyone that's going to a con, get at us and let us know how it was.
Yeah, very curious.
I'm like I said, I'm kind of jonesing. 2 years in a row, I haven't been to a con. That hasn't happened since probably the late '80s.
It's just, we don't know what to expect anymore. I mean, you know what I mean? So.
Well, they're trying to kind of get the best of both worlds, right? They want people to come to the cons, creators, fans. They want to kind of get back to normal, but it's not there. We don't have we don't have like a level playing field. We don't have everybody safe and secure, and we still got hospitals that are filled up and stuff like that. So I think that they're trying their best, and I think for those of us that have been in this medium, this hobby for decades, I'm happy to wait. I'm happy to wait, be patient, and wait till San Diego, Atlanta, Chicago kind of get where they need to be, and I'll be right back there. I'll be. It's not like they've lost me as a con attendee.
Let's do, what do you think? True Believers Hulk, Professor Hulk. Let's do a Peter David signed book.
Did Joe fix a book?
Yeah, let's do that one. Why not?
Nice.
Why not? I think we actually have 2 Peter David. So we have 2 of these, True Believers Hulk, Joe Fixit #1, signed by Peter David, and suggested retail of $39.99, and tonight we have it for $19.88. The year Hulk Mr. Fixit first appeared. And we only have 2 available.
Mr. Fixit has his fans, man. There are people that he has his following. I mean, we're speaking about cons. You go to cons, you see a lot of Mr. Fixit shirts out there. You see a lot of Mr. Fixit cosplay out there.
Yep.
This is a thing that kind of comes and goes, right? People forget about the quote-unquote Gray Hulk for a while, right? Especially now that we've got, Red Hulk, and I understand that there's this rumor about, they're going to do another different colored Hulk or something. And
so hand signed by Peter David, and limited.
Yellow Hulk. He's going to be a little timid.
Oh no! Oh no!
Limited up to 125 copies ever signed.
Here's a completely original idea. What if there was a Hulk for every color in the rainbow, but each Hulk's powers were different based on the color?
Ooh,
Sounds like Green Lantern Corps.
So Ron's got us.
I was going to say Jeff John's attorney is on the phone now to sue me.
All right, so Ron's got a report for us.
Sweet.
So some of the guests didn't show, and a lot of the artist alley didn't show, and the crowds were nowhere near pre-pandemic levels. But for a collector, it was great because everybody was willing to deal. That's a good point. So that's a good point. I mean,
that's a great point.
I think we're going to see this for a little while. Ron, I'm glad you made out to one. We're able to enjoy it. Definitely, if you feel like you want to be at a con, we certainly encourage. I mean, all the deals.
Oh yeah, we never want to discourage anyone. I just sort of want to let people know, you haven't been to a con in 5 years, it's not going to be the same experience.
Yeah,
it'll still be fun.
Nothing is the same experience.
Well, to a certain extent, I saw reports from, I think it was Terrificon, and people were glad they could get better hotel rooms at a kinder price. I know when I've been to Chicago, man, I got to tell you, like, C2E2 is like the price tag practically. You know what I mean? They're, if you want to stay at a hotel, I mean, people stay over in like the McCormick area just because it's more reasonably priced.
Right.
You want to stay anywhere on the mile? Yikes.
Yeah, but it's 6 of one, half dozen of another, because then you got to get into your rental car and, or drive or Uber or whatever.
See, that's generally why I try to stay at a hotel that the con is at, or at least part of the con is at. In San Diego, I always try to stay at the Hilton or the Marriott on either side of the con. Not that I love spending that amount of money, but I know people that are out. I'm at the airport, I'm here, I'm there. I found a great con in some town an hour away, and I'm like, great. You know what I mean? And then I know what they have to get into town and park. And I'd rather just, if I'm going to spend the money anyway, I'd rather just spend the money and get the cool little cookies from the Hilton.
Cool little cookies.
Hey, they have amazing cookies.
So Ron's going to see if Baltimore will go on or not. So Ron's like made himself into our traveling correspondent.
You know what? I appreciate that. I am probably not going to get to any cons because most of the cons that I want to go to this year, I will not be on the Dynamite panel. No, most of the cons I'm going to this year, they've already said, San Diego, Chicago, they've kind of said, we're not full blown. We're not ready to go. So I'm like,
John, we're going to put you on a virtual panel. Okay, and we're gonna have you go on there. But if nobody else gets on after about a half an hour, don't worry.
I don't want the virtual panel. I want the real panel where I turn to Mark Russell and say, "Now here's what you got wrong with Lone Ranger," and see Nick's face go, "Oh no."
All right, so we'll tell you where the panel is. Okay, you go sit behind the desk, and people will arrive momentarily.
I know, right?
After about 2 hours, go ahead, grab something to eat.
I've actually seen what a room looks like if I'm on the panel. There was like a spare room in Chicago a few years ago, and there was a family of 4 sitting in the back having their food, and the rest of the room was empty because the creator that was supposed to be on that panel at the time went home. She got sick. So there were 4 people in there having their lunch, and I looked and I'm like, oh, look, it's the panel for me talking about Dynamite.
JD's feeling saucy tonight. Look at that. John needs a full panel of infectious disease tests.
Yikes, you're not kidding, right?
All right. So,
let's do another Bronze Age book.
Go ahead.
These things are
knock it out of the park, John.
Well, they're just they're in great shape. This is X-Men 98. Sentinels, Dave Cockrum. I mean, these are kind of books that you really don't have to quote unquote sell.
So,
yeah, I mean, these are books you just let people know you have.
So X-Men number 98, okay, this has a presumed grade of 9. I told you we're getting better.
I'm actually going to move this a little bit closer so you can.
A value of $300. We got it tonight for $250. So, and we have 1, obviously.
This is a great way to pick up a book. Save yourself some money. You don't have to go look for it. Let's be honest. Most of the shows I've been to, these Cockrum books are available either much more expensively or much lower grades.
Right. So we have that one. So just to go by the 2 that we've already shown, X-Men number 97, which has a presumed grade 8.5. We have that one tonight for $175, and John just manhandled X-Men number 98, presumed grade of 9. For $250, and we have 1 of each of them. So if you're looking to fill your collection, there you go. So let's see.
Yeah, if you're an X-Men fan from the 70s, this is your moment. This is sort of that, the Cockrum sweet spot, I guess we'll call it. We're back with the Starjammers and the Sentinels, and you know what I mean, the really sort of ramping up the interpersonal drama. I mean, there's always a little bit of interpersonal drama, but nothing like, you know what I mean? There was no creepy Professor X, crushing on Jean Grey. This was like real fleshed out stories of, that went on and on and on. And I think this is where today they almost try to recapture that. And I think it's difficult. I really do. I think when you have a book that has peaked like the X-Men did, won tons of awards, sold a zillion things, translated into games and cartoons, I think it's difficult. People say Superman is the hardest book to write. and I always disagree. I think the X-Men is the hardest book to write. Because if you don't get the right mix of characters, fans are unhappy. If you don't write each character to the expectations, I take the one character, Superman, and I can focus on that rather than trying to pick a team and balance them and then the villains. You know, it's. I think the X-Men is. I have a lot of respect for people that tackle the X-Men. I think that is far and away the hardest.
Well, you have a lot of interpersonal relationships that you escape with Superman being a lead character, or even Batman being a lead character. I mean, you have other characters that come in, but you know, with the X-Men, they exist as a unit.
Yeah, they exist as units. They exist as a family. Everyone with a large family or extended family knows it's wonderful and it's a nightmare. You know, simultaneously.
All at the same time.
Superman, and one of the things I've said a lot, Superman, you can write to be a little bit aloof. If he seems to be slightly not paying attention, well, of course he's not. He's watching like cells divide with his supervision. So when you're, yammering him about pick up milk at the store, okay.
Let's do Walking Dead, number 163. This one might be the deal of the night.
Can't look at this. This is one of these deals where it's a Ken Haeser. I'm almost going to say remark. This is very cool. Ken has sort of remarked an existing cover.
So who was it that said it was Kyle who made the point, I think, on the last show about the differences between a variant cover specifically printed for blank
blanks
for remark and heavier stock, and then a normal comic which has the normal stock, making it that much harder to actually kind of remark.
Well, I think collectively we've all sort of reached this consensus of, Ken is at the top of the food chain for this. For this.
I would agree.
Because I think this is sort of, you look at the cover, he sort of had, this cover in and of itself has a bit of a throwback vibe to it. Then Ken has got to jump in there and give us a Walker that's,
So, Walking Dead number 163, signed and remarked with the zombie sketch by Ken Haeser, suggested retail of $59.99. And tonight we're going to do the one, we only have the one, for $19.92, the year that Image launched.
Man, I have to tell you, this is 1992. You get your holofoil seal, COA. A pickup like this for under $20 is
best of both worlds.
Yeah, that's a real. That might be the steal of the night. It really might. We've talked about this before. Remarks sort of bridge the gap, or kind of connect the threads between commissions and original art and signage. Autographs. You're kind of getting everything in one nice little package. I'm at $50. I think that's a fine price point. At 19 something, it's almost like a layup. There's no, there's not a lot of thought that has to go into that.
Let's do the Shadow Year One. We got enough time.
We have one more. We have time to do one more.
Yep.
Shadow
Year One, number 6. High-end Alex Ross, and you and I have talked about Alex a lot. Huge fans of his work, just the lifelike nature of everything that he does. Is it a photo? Is it a piece of
Everybody
art?
has that. We've talked about this before. Everybody has that. When was the first time you saw Alex Ross artwork? Was it Marvels? Was it was it Astro City? I'm trying to think of some of the stuff he did in the beginning. He had some cool I think it was Jukebox Productions. It was him and his wife, I believe, and they had some really cool stuff they put out at cons, just really cool sketches. And I have a few of them in, like my con counter cabinet. And I just I remember looking at these things, and they're not of any like really well-known characters or whatever, but like more like architecture. And you're looking at this and you're like, oh my God, this guy is absolutely amazing. And then of course, very shortly he becomes, Alex Ross.
So Shadow Year One, number 6, high-end Alex Ross, vegan art, ultra limited, suggested retail of $50, and we're going to do it for $19.30. And in my notes it says the year the Shadow first appeared in radio, but I don't think he appeared on the radio. First time broadcast on the radio.
Well, who used the word appeared?
Well, what name?
English is Nick's second language.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you're also missing a P here and appeared.
That's a paired. Oh, maybe it's
a
après.
paired.
Maybe it's French. It's après, which means on the radio. No, it doesn't.
No, but you sold it pretty good, though.
I know, right?
I was almost. Is that really a French word?
And I'll tell you right now, as a longtime reader of The Shadow, reading Shadow Year One is a different experience. It's almost a different character. The same way Batman Year One is a different character. I'm used to a very sort of has the answers to everything Shadow. For me, the best examples of the Shadows are when Shadow is with the Green Hornet or Batman.
Found a way to get the Green Hornet in there again.
Well, seeing as how there's so few Green Hornets offered and how the publisher publishes Green Hornets so slowly instead of weekly as I've asked, I have to kind of keep the character out in the conversation until...
Well, I've been given direct instructions to avoid any Green Hornets on the show.
There's a big green cabinet just locked.
I'm sorry. I tried. I fought for you, John.
But I think that's really where you see the Shadow. Shadow Year One, and I talk to people about these things, and they're like, yeah, I'm not really digging this version of Shadow. And I'm like, well, you have to think. I don't care what the medium is. Your superstar didn't start as a superstar. I don't care if it's movies, television, sports. People don't necessarily just step out of the egg day one and being, and I think you saw that a lot with Batman Year One and Batman Year Two. The only character I can remember that steps out instantly ready to go in comics is Captain America. They decided that he was the right guy. He gets the serum. He gets the shield. Somehow everything that guy does is platinum. But most of the other characters, it's just most of the other characters. And now they've almost in a meta way worked that into the Marvel Universe. Thor talks about his terrible childhood. It took him a while to sort of develop into Thor. And the other characters in the Marvel Universe, there are people who make the argument that Spider-Man has been Year One for like 50 years. He's still... he's still like kind of stumbling through.
They leaked that trailer. Did you read about that?
I did see the trailer that was leaked today. I had someone send me a stream before it was taken down, and
you begin to wonder: is that on purpose?
Of course, it's on purpose. Yeah. Somebody joked around and said it's Scarlett Johansson ruining everything for Marvel, but I think the truth is, I think the same with fights. They have a big fight in the UFC. Maybe the buy rates aren't as high as they like. Somehow halfway through the card, there's a stream that's leaked. Really? No.
So I think we got to go to break in a second. But before we go to break, just a reminder, we have the cosplay contest as part of our posted anniversary. So post pics of yourself and your favorite cosplay. Me, Nick, and John will not be putting Post-it notes on us because it is not environmentally friendly. And all that adhesive could be really, really bad and give us a rash. Use hashtag the EXP cosplay. All right, and
we come
back
back
to see it. Really, we'll definitely talk about it.
When we come back, we're going to talk about another starter kit,
Secret Wars
starter kit.
So JD,
take us out, buddy.
Take us to break, please, sir.
There's something for every imagination at your local comic shop. Visit comicshoplocator.com to find a store near you.
Today's comics market is ripe with new titles by creators who are determined to get their books into your hands. My name is Henri Compen. For the last decade, I've been making and selling my own creator-owned comics and dealing as a collector in live sales. My signature series, Yi Sun Shin, is the book that cannot be defeated in battle and has over 250,000 copies in print. Now I'm taking comics to the next level and laying the groundwork for my fellow creators to get their voices heard so they can connect directly with you, This is your chance to engage live with top comic book talent and get your comics signed without having to wait in long lines or pay any fees. But remember, we only have a limited amount of their books in stock, so always remember to call it as you see it.
To kind of, execute it at the right price point.
So we're talking about all kinds of things here.
Welcome to the CNBC version of
CNBC version. So this was a last minute add-on. And John, you can touch these. You're good. So we decided to do.
These like actually replaced.
We decided to do 10 comics for $10. So $1 a comic. If they're going to be random titles, we have 3 that we can put together tonight. Just kind of a quote-unquote starter kit to kind of encourage people who maybe are just joining us that are not, collectors yet, huge fans yet, but this is a great way to get started.
These are all Dynamite comics?
Probably, yes.
I would hope so. Consider this the Dynamite charcuterie board of comics. A little bit of everything. Cover here, Captain Victory, Galactic Rangers.
Pull them out, John. Pull them out.
At one point,
only $1 a piece. You have my permission.
Before like I said, these I have at home. I could replace these from my own collection if I had to. I almost did a podcast before I was involved in this. I almost did a podcast, and the podcast was going to be Dynamite books that you may have missed. And oh yeah, I got the idea like a couple years ago. Someone said, dude, you're the Dynamite superfan. You should do like a podcast for these.
Actually, a bad idea.
Because I forgot. I referenced like 2 books people didn't even remember, and I was like, oh yeah, what was this? Like I did with you and Buck Rogers. People are like, wait, what? So Dynamite did Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers? Yes, they did Buck Rogers before they did Flash Gordon.
So you're gonna get. We can't guarantee this is what you're gonna get, but this is like a sampling. So we have 3 of these. Basically 10 Dynamite books for $10. If you're already a collector, you like Dynamite titles, maybe there's some Dynamite titles you haven't read yet. It's a good way to do it at a very affordable price.
See, here's a creator.
John has read every one of them.
Here, I have read. Here's a creator that understood Lone Ranger. Some do, some don't.
We try to find 10 that John hasn't read, but that's next to impossible. So you got James Bond there. Don't read them now, John.
Hold on a second. Wait a minute now. This is I have this comic. I just don't have this variant. Masks is probably.
All right. Send me an email after the show. I'll get you yours.
Wait, this is 9. This is 9 books for $9.
No, we'll get another one for John.
I don't. This is somebody in my circle once said Masks is the book I would do if I won a Dynamite contest to be a publisher for the day. Masks is like all the pulp characters I really like.
Was that someone you?
No, that wasn't. That was actually my buddy who used to have his own comic book store.
And JD, and defense of JD had no idea this kit was coming. So our bad on that one, JD, buddy. Sorry about it.
Peter Cannon Thunderbolt. I'll tell you right now, and this is a comment other people have made, Peter Cannon is more Ozymandias from Watchmen than Ozymandias says. Peter Cannon Thunderbolt is just...
I mean, we're trying to cover everything, so this idea kind of came up at the last minute. Let's do 10 for $10 and $1 a piece.
Miss Fury.
If this is something you guys want to see more of, let us know. You know, we'll
I was
do
at
more.
a con a couple of years ago, and Billy Tucci talked us through this great sort of origin of Miss Fury and, things that, the average person probably doesn't know. I just reread this recently, too. I used to talk to Anthony Del Cole a lot about. I found him on Twitter and said to him, actually, the way Houdini got out of that trick was, and he was like, and then we didn't talk that much anymore. But
I can't imagine.
if I remember correctly, he had Houdini's wife Bess pass him a lockpick, and for that particular trick, he used a cufflink.
So 10 Dynamite titles for $10. Pretty much a reader's pack. So just you get bored, you're looking
You know what?
to
I
catch
don't
up.
think I have this version of this either.
All right, send me an email.
I'll have to be sending you an email. I'm uncomfortable that books are being offered to others that I don't have.
Send me an email, John.
I just, all jokes aside, we're having a little fun here, but this is a great primer. And speaking as someone who's read Dynamite books pretty much from the jump, this is a great way for $10 to sort of see what the imprint is about, to see what the publishing is about. A lot of times I interact with people on Facebook groups and I see these comments which are almost like reductive and not quite accurate. Like, oh, the only comic they published is Red Sonja. No. Give me 60 seconds and I can probably name 50 titles that are not Red Sonja that Dynamite Comics does in rotation.
Right.
If it seems like Red Sonja is out there a lot, it's the same reason you see Batman out there all the time. Not because it's the only book that DC publishes. It's, it's what their fans like. It's the same with Red Sonja, Vampirella. These are characters that are, 40, 50 years plus. Of course they have more.
Yeah, we got some likes on YouTube. Thanks for posting that, JD. Thank you, whoever put those likes up. And just a reminder, twice a week, it's me and John, kind of shooting the breeze, talking about comic books, cheesesteaks, beer, anything else that we can think of.
That's definitely
very knowledgeable guy when it comes to food trucks and other such things. So I love talking to him about food.
I'm very knowledgeable about 4 things. The rest of the universe is like a mystery to me. There's like 4 things.
What else is there?
There's food, there's wrestling, there's comic books, and there's wristwatches.
What else is there? I mean, that's a complete life. So
the internal combustion engine is like sorcery. I put the key in, I say the power word, and it starts. I don't know.
It's a place where you keep your money. And yes, JD, we love hearts, likes.
The notification bell. I always
if you're watching on
stress that
Facebook,
if there's something you like, hit the notification bell.
Yeah.
Because people are busy. Everybody's got a million emails to read a day. They got a million errands to do. They're exhausted on their sofa 7 o'clock at night, 5 o'clock. Hit the notification bell so you know when we're on. Especially if you're trying to fill gaps in collections. If you're just, you're looking for. I really want to get into collecting, but I don't know how. I don't know when to jump in. We always have things at a price point. Back when in the old days, when they had record stores, they used to have something called the Nice Price. Had a cool Nice Price sticker.
Yes, I remember
that. And
yes.
The Nice Price was a cool way for you to get turned on to a group or an artist and take a chance. And we do a lot of that.
My first Cheap Trick album was one of those. Sam Goody, I think it was.
We do a lot of that here. This 10 books for $10 sampler. The other starter kits we have, we sort of try to get a little bit of this and that. So everything, let's be honest, the collectibles market, for the most part, not entirely, the majority is a la carte, to use a restaurant industry term. One book, one cost, one book, one cost. Sure, you can try to find dealers that will do bundles and maybe knock off a little bit, but that takes time to develop a rapport, or maybe you just catch a dealer packing quickly at the end of a con, to catch a plane out of town. That those are few and far between. What we do is we offer like Haeser Remarks at $50, which these starter kits, things that let people kind of get in with like a good feeling. I've had friends in the past that their first signed book was $700, and then they just kind of sat at the bar nursing one free drink because that's really all they could swing. Well, that's fine. He got the book he wanted, but et cetera, et cetera. It's not the kindest, most positive way to do it. When we offer stuff at significant discounts, I think that says to people, hey, look, this is for everybody. Which is the whole point of this. Comics are for everybody. The comic book industry has spawned a multi-billion-dollar, multimedia industry, economy, actually. Movies, video games, T-shirts, on and on and on it goes. It came from men and women sitting at drawing boards, sitting at typewriters, endless cups of coffee, trying to get, their deadlines met. And from there, local comic book shops, and that's where the industry grew from. Right. So we always want people, we'll segue here, we always would ask people to support your local comic book shop, wherever Absolutely. They may be. They'll be happy to do pull lists for you. They're happy to look stuff up. Comic Shop Locator, make sure I'm saying that right, Comic Shop Locator. Essentially, I think it's as easy as going to the website and putting in your zip code, and you'll find a store as close to you as reasonably possible. And if you don't have a store conveniently located, they all have websites, and they're happy to ship books, especially now when everybody's got a different comfort level of going out. I mean, let's be honest, you've got people that won't leave the house to get their mail, and then you've got people that are out and about, no mask, no shots, just, hey, I'll take my chances. So they're being flexible and trying to take care of everybody. You want to come into the shop? Great. You want to stay at home? Tell me what you want, I'll get you your books.
Let's do the other slab book.
Sure. Batman 50.
All right, so Batman number 50, comic sketch art, romance exclusive by Clayman.
Yeah, this is the Clayman variant. I don't know, is it a variant or is it I forgot.
Does it say at the top of the label?
No, it is Clayman, but I don't know if if it would be a variant or if it's just an edition.
It says Man variant cover.
Okay.
So it is a variant by the authority CGC.
I was going to say, who am I to argue with the CGC?
It's a very, very small print. So suggested retail at $89.99. Tonight we'll do it for $50, and we have the one available. So this is guaranteed 9.8.
9.8.
And Emmy Comics has joined us. Hey, Emmy, how are you doing, buddy? Thanks for joining us tonight.
It's Batman and Catwoman. It's Bruce and Selina. I really love the fact that Clay's take here is almost a little steampunky in the dress that Catwoman is wearing here. There's a wide variety of versions of Catwoman over the years. I tend to be a fan of the 1940s version. There's tons of them out there. In this cover, she's wearing a little bit of a, kind of a dress. It's almost a little bit steampunky. Very cool.
And guaranteed, because we only have the one, so you're guaranteed to get the 9.8. And since Emmy just joined us, you want to do a quick recap?
Sure. For Emmy and anyone else who
may have joined us a little bit later.
Joined us a little bit late. Let's see. What do we want to do first?
Well, let's go in order. What is your haphazard?
What does that mean to me? Go in order.
All right. So we started off tonight with Magnus Robot Fighter number 1.
Yeah, why don't you just call them out in order and I'll hold them up.
All right. High-end Tom Fowler vegan art, ultra limited. Suggested retail of $100, and tonight we have it for $19.63. The year Magnus first appeared. Next up, we had the Pathfinder City of Secrets number 1, ultra limited edition cover. and we have one left because one was claimed. And it's just retail of $19.99, and we're doing this for $10 tonight. Perfect 10 read. Then we have the Red Sonja number 11, high-end Jenny Friesen, vegan art, ultra limited. Suggested retail of $75, and this is one of our 5-star books, and cover for $50, and we only have the one available.
Just a gorgeous cover, by the way.
And then we have the Shadow Year One.
What's that? Yeah, it's right here.
Shadow Year One number 6, high-end Alex Ross, vegan art, ultra limited. Big fans of Alex Ross, you and I.
Yeah.
I think we've said that maybe once or
We
twice.
might have mentioned it once or twice.
Suggested retail of $50, and we're doing it tonight for $19.30. The year the Shadow first broadcast in radio.
And
then
I gotta ask Nick if I can sit in on your HR review, because I just want to be a fly on the wall. I wouldn't say a word. I just want to sit in the corner.
Sure. Bring some cheesesteaks.
Come on, Nick.
True Believers Hulk, Red Hulk number 1, signed by Jeff Loeb. And that's a tough signature to get.
Yeah, we've mentioned Jeff Loeb, incredible creator. A little bit difficult to get signatures these days.
Suggested retail of $89.99. Tonight we have the 2 available at $80. And Ron had given us a report. You know, a lot of creators, you know, obviously because of situation with the pandemic and stuff, are
Last
skipping.
week they had a day that was called like Black Tuesday, and it was several creators said they weren't going to New York. And I got to tell you, that kind of took the air out of the sails of the con a little bit. They're trying to get people, super psyched. And you have creators that are like, I'm looking at New York City, I'm looking at the guidelines, I'm looking at people rolling around without masks, without shots, whatever the deal is. And there are creators who are like, you know what? I'm good. You've got creators.
Well, New York was going to be tough either way because, the car show was canceled.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, there's no way. I love cons. And one of the reasons I love cons is you get to interact with your people, right. Your tribe, so to speak. It's real difficult. They don't have a great way to do it. I mean, until they kind of perfect everybody having like a personal force field, it's a little tricky, and I get it. A lot of creators have kids. I think it was, obviously I follow a ton of creators on social media. I think it was Amanda Diebert that said her and her wife, Kat Staggs, have to make a decision, not just for them, but for their child.
Sure, of course.
You know what I mean? They're going to go out and they want to see the fans and interact with people, and they love that, signings, whatever. Then they have to come home to, if you follow them on social media, they have an adorable little girl. So it's not literally, oh man, it's terrible, you're too. No, it's not that they feel like they're too important or anything else. It's that they have kids of varying ages, and, the mindset has to go beyond, Yeah,
no, I agree. I totally agree. So we had next, True Believers, Joe Fixit. Number 1, signed by Peter David.
Wait a minute.
Do you have the right one?
I thought I grabbed the wrong one.
Come on, John.
I'm sorry, I thought I grabbed the wrong one.
Suggested retail of $39.99. Tonight we have it for $19.88. The year that Hulk Mr. Fixit first appeared. And then we have, that one was claimed. Then we have The Walking Dead, number 163, signed and remarked with a zombie sketch by Ken Haeser. So this was a regular issue cover, not a blank.
Yeah, we heard this isn't like cardstock. This is like the standard cover.
Right, which is very hard to remark, obviously. Suggested retail of $89.99, and we have it tonight at $50, and we have the 1. And then we did the Batman number 50. We just did graded 9.8. Suggested retail of $89.99.
We did Deadpool, didn't we? In the beginning.
Oh shoot, I missed it.
You missed it. It was a Brian Kong.
Yep, Deadpool. The Mercs for Money number 1, signed and remarked by Brian Kong. Suggested retail of $89.99. And no, Ron claimed that.
Oh,
stop!
Sorry,
your
Ron.
Fingers on Ron.
You know what? I think I'm just gonna turn that around because that one's done.
Yeah, that makes it a little bit easier. This is when I have Amy here with the post-it notes.
I know we don't have Amy here. Is there something else that we have?
Let's see. Miss Jen talked to a comic publisher that was living in his basement because he had been exposed and didn't want to risk exposing his young son. Yeah, there's a lot of that these days.
There are a lot of these stories, pro athletes, musicians, comic book creators, professional wrestlers, people in the public who kind of felt like they wanted to go out, they wanted to perform, they wanted to do whatever. And, they, not to put too fine a head on it, but they came home with COVID or a positive COVID test. And they, you know what I mean? They have, spouses, kids, whatever. I mean, that's tough.
Parents.
Really, really tough.
Yeah,
Parents.
It's a tough situation. So we had, I think I missed one again. Detective 1000, variant cover by Jock.
Did we? Oh, no, we thought that was.
Yeah, no. Ron did not claim that one.
Okay.
CGC graded 9.8 and we have the one at 89.99.
This is almost like a snapshot of like Batman DC Circuit 2004. Yep. If you go back and look at some of these covers, this is exactly what they were doing. And Jock, dials into that perfectly here.
All right. And then for the vintage comics we had tonight.
Those don't get that again.
You're picking them up. We have X-Men number 92, presumed grade of 8.5, and we have the one for 175. And X-Men number 98, presumed grade of 9.0, with a value of 300, but we're going to do it tonight for 250, and we only have the one of those as well. And there you go. So that was a quick recap.
Was that everything? We had the 10 for $10.
Oh, and the Reader's Starter set, 10 Dynamite titles for $10. So $1 a piece.
This is a great way if you would like to go to a con and pretend to be a know-it-all like I do with Dynamite Comics. This is a great way to start. Think of it as like the John Cole starter kit. You read
from
these.
Now on, we're going to call it the John Cole starter kit.
We want to sell them. No, we're not. All jokes aside, though, it really is a great way for a very reasonable price. I don't know. In this part of the country, $10 is what I would drop on coffee and a breakfast sandwich in the morning. You have
expensive taste.
Sleep in one morning and grab this. It is a great way to see some of the stuff that was done, a year ago, 2 years ago. There's in this kit, in particular, this kit I'm looking at, there are two covers in here which are sort of like variants. This mask, well, this one I'll take home, but you can probably get one too. And if I remember correctly, this was Johnny Desjardins does these super cool variant covers where everything looks like it's a toy. And I don't know. I would hope that an officer in this company has read Battlestar Galactica versus Battlestar Galactica, but it's just very cool book. A lot of people were like, "Oh, that's kind of hokey," and I'm like, "No, that's not hokey. That's really, really good." Also, it was kind of written by Peter David, so when people say something's hokey, I'm like, "Well, you can say what you'd like." I got into a discussion on Twitter when this came out, and I just said, I kind of give Peter David the benefit of the doubt.
Yep.
Forget that I'm a Dynamite fan. I'm just saying, if Peter David wrote out a grocery list, I would read it. I've seen Peter David at panels. Two of the most knowledgeable people about this industry that I've heard speak at length about creating comic books are Joe Michael Straczynski and Peter David. They almost take a professorial approach to this.
Man, John's using some big words tonight.
Well, let's be honest. Artists
tend lying all this time.
Artists tend to be the glamour guys, glamour girls. They just roll in, flash a pen, and everybody loves them, and they bounce on out to the next panel. When you have to actually sit down and talk about
develop the storyline.
How I developed the storyline. Amy Chu is also a great panelist as she explains how she creates books. It's super easy. Like I always have said, my impression of an Alex Ross panel is he comes to the panel, he smiles and nods and says, I'm Alex Ross, thank you, and leaves. And that lets you know all you need to know about how he created the books. But you know what I mean? For someone that isn't galactically blessed with supernatural talent, there's a whole process you have to go through, research and revisions, and then the creators always they have to interact with the artist. And if you follow Taylor Esposito on Twitter, he's endlessly going on about the poor letterer and what they have to go through. All jokes aside, he teaches at the Joe Kubert School, and he's a great follow. If you're curious at all about how comics really get made, following people like that really sort of give you a little insight of how this works.
Let's get to another book because I think we're going to get a break soon.
Let's go.
Let's do Vampirella number 28.
Oh, this copy's mine. Do you have a copy that's not mine?
Oh, send me an email, John. This email is going to be really long.
Page 3.
Vampirella number 28, high-end, Paul Renaud, black and white, ultra limited cover.
That means what? I think there's 25 of these? No, 50 of these. I'm sorry.
50 ever published. Suggested retail is $75. We're going to do it for $19.73 the year Red Sonja was created and first appeared.
Vampirella.
Or Vampirella.
Nice try.
Jeez.
That would be 1969 then.
That's Nick. That's Nick. It says Red Sonja in my notes. That's Nick. I'm blaming Nick. Totally pushing Nick under the bus.
Wow.
That's two. We only have one.
We have one of one. And I have to tell you, I've talked about this before. Black and white variants, single colored variants. If you're a line work fan, if you're a positioning fan, great way to sort of.
I'm like that dude with the teleprompter. You put anything up there, and I'll just pretty much
Ron
say.
Burgundy.
Ron
Well,
Burgundy.
that's what did. Amy crucified me because I called Francisco Franco Villa Franco. And
That's
she was
right.
like,
She was cranky about
She
that.
shrieked so loud only the dogs could hear her. She was
She was
furious.
cranky. Yeah, she wasn't happy with you.
Well, of course she's cranky. Imagine trying to be an administrative assistant and a babysitter simultaneously.
Usually the same job, isn't it?
Unfortunately, the highest paid person in this company is me, and I get paid in comics. No, that's not true.
And just so everybody knows, this Saturday and Sunday, we're celebrating being on the air for 6 months with
Nice.
our posted anniversary. We will have 18 hours of special programming over 2 days. So it'll just be me and John. Marathon.
What?
Like they used to do those Jerry Lewis telethons.
No wonder Amy's
John
gone.
will sing and dance. And no, I'm
no,
just
we
kidding.
won't.
I'm just kidding. The programming will be much cooler than that. But
We'll do the first episode of my podcast, Dynamite, in the beginning.
and John will tap dance. I mean, again, we've been waiting for John to dance. Yes, you are Ron Burgundy.
Right? No, you know what?
Throw it up there, JD, whatever you want.
I'm
We'll say
starting
it.
to see some of the creators of Dynamite Comics, all jokes aside, that are sort of, interacting with the show, with the channel, the idea of what we're doing. Following these people on social media, watching interviews that they do, really, it's the look behind the curtain. Like, all jokes aside, I kind of say a lot of things very much tongue-in-cheek or for laughs, but the absolute reality is, if you want to really know about this industry, how books are made, how decisions are made, that's a great way to do it. Because, let's be honest, a publisher doesn't have time to do, a 26-hour class on how I decide what gets
Hold
published.
that thought, John.
Why, are we going to break?
We're going to break.
Take us to break, JD.
watching Minute to Skim It on the Experience. So, hello. All right, we've got lots of books to review for you guys today. And Hannah just basically showed up just the number ones and showed them to me, and I was like, "Oh, we have
just for the indies."
Just for the indies, yeah. I was like, we have got a lot to do.
Some like focus on your books, just like you guys should be focusing on your books instead of me looking on my phone.
We're on the air.
No, we're not.
Yes,
We're on the air. JD, when did our break stop being 11 minutes? JD is like, what?
The man with 100 watches can't tell time. It's unbelievable.
No, hold on a second. It is noon in Samoa. Is that not what you needed to know?
Not even a little bit.
I also don't know what time it is in American Samoa either. But
I like that you really need to know what time it is in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, my friend. All right, let's hit it. Let's go to Warlord of Mars. There we go.
This was the first character, not Green Hornet or Green Lantern, two of my favorite characters. John Carter of Mars was the first character I discussed on a comic book, which is now on a comic book podcast, which they've stopped doing a few years ago. It was one of the movie had come out, and Dynamite was doing John Carter, and I was like, look, this is the best thing not enough people are reading.
So Warlord of Mars, number 25, high-end Joe Jusko, vegan art, ultra limited. Suggested retail of $100, and we have the Spot Star book tonight at $50. And we have the one available. And I know that John can tell you everything there is to know about this title.
I mean, John Carter of Mars is one of these things that never really goes away. John Carter Mars is one of those barometer movies. People love it or people hate it. There's no in the middle. I understand that Disney at first was going to do a sequel to the movie. Now Disney Plus is kicking around, turning it into a TV series. As much as I love John Carter of Mars, the TV series to do is Dejah Thoris, Princess of Mars. Dynamite has done both of those books, multiple storylines. Some of the better artists and writers in the business have worked on these characters. And I often say everyone's going to expect the first words out of my mouth when I talk about Dynamite Comics is Green Hornet is the first book you should read.
It's amazing how he keeps dropping that.
Maybe you guys want to sit down and prepare yourselves.
That's 3.
I generally tell people the first book they should check out from Dynamite is John Carter and Dejah Thoris. Because people have been exposed to Red Sonja before. People have been exposed to Vampirella before. Not a lot of people have been exposed to John Carter and Dejah Thoris in the comic book.
Do you know what I find amazing? That we don't have a Green Hornet book on tonight, and you managed to drop Green Hornet's title 3 times.
My guess is when there's the publishorial and staff changes, there'll be more of them here. I'm one Powerball win away from this being the Green Hornet Hour.
Stay tuned next week for the Green Hornet Hour.
I know, right? We're going to get like a big green screen, right? It's just...
All right, let's do...
But all jokes aside, seriously, John Carter Mars, Dejah Thoris Mars, that Joe Jusko cover I'm so glad they did a vegan version, because as much as I love Dynamite, the logo on there was almost taking away from what's otherwise breathtaking art.
All right, should we do another Bronze Age? What do you think?
Sure. I mean, we've got. I think we're a little bit behind, actually.
We are a little bit behind. Let's do 99. So we have X-Men 99, a presumed grade of 8. We have the one tonight for $125. So just to go through all the Bronze Age books that we've had tonight, X-Men number 97, presumed grade of 8.5. We have that for $175. X-Men number 98, presumed grade of 9. I think that's one of the best ones we've had in terms of grade.
I think 9 might be. I might be wrong, but I think 9 is the highest presumed
I know we haven't
grade.
had. Yeah, I know we haven't had a 9.5.
I would say I know we haven't had 9.5.
We sure as heck haven't had a 10.
No.
With a price tonight of $250, and John just showed you the X-Men number 99, presumed grade of 8 for $125.
Let's run these. Let's do them all, because
Okay,
I know
go.
people are like, "What else is in here?"
103.
Yeah, I have 103.
So
Really cool. Black Tom Cassidy, a character that gets a little bit lost in the X-Men Rogues Gallery, but let's be honest, theirs is huge. Juggernaut.
X-Men number 103, presumed grade of 8.0, value of 85. Tonight we have it for 8, and we have just the one, as always with vintage books. We get one, we throw it on the show. And then X-Men number 106, also a really good grade, a presumed grade of 8.5, with a value of $100, and tonight we're going to do it for $95. So go through the Bronze Age books real quick. One more time. X-Men number 97, presumed grade of 8.5 for $175. X-Men number 98, presumed grade of 9. And we have the one for $250 tonight. X-Men number 99, presumed grade of 8, and we have that for $125. X-Men number 103, presumed grade of 8 for $80 tonight. And X-Men number 106, presumed grade of 8.5 for $95 tonight. And that is the bronze books for the evening. So if anybody needs one, interested in one, they are very, very nice, clean books.
Yeah, this is a great way to fill those gaps.
Yep.
I've talked about this before. This is a great way to
Remark alert.
Remark alert. This is Ken Haeser, the Despicable Deadpool. I got to tell you, this is. If you're a Deadpool fan, this is for you. This is your moment.
Despicable Deadpool number 287.
Like a Valentine's edition, a little gender bending.
Signed and remarked with a Lady Deadpool.
Lady
Valentine's sketch by Ken Haeser. Signed and remarked by Ken Haeser, of course. It's just a retail of $89.99. And tonight we have it, 5-star book at $50.
And the color on that heart is just beautiful, by the way.
Everything he does is just.
No, but I mean, it's just, it's not easy to do this kind of stuff. And
Buy it tonight before John puts it on the list of that 40-page email he's going to send me.
Where have you been the last hour, Rex? Reading this email from John. This is one of my all-time favorite Hulk covers.
Which one is it?
It is the new Incredible Hulk. I love the almost fluorescent green nature of this cover.
Is that the
True Believers number 1?
Okay.
Signed by, I think this is Peter David?
Yes, it is. So True Believers Hulk, Professor Hulk number 1, signed by Peter David. Suggested retail of $39.99, and tonight we have it for $19.62. The year Hulk first appeared. And we have 2 of those available tonight.
We do have 2 of these, yes. And they are just, I got to tell you, that this is one where I really want to give a shout out to like the inker and the colorist.
And while we're on it,
speaking of True Believers,
yeah,
yikes!
It's the big one.
This is
the big mamma jamma.
Yikes! This is almost like you stumble into like a throne room here. This is signed by John Romita.
True Believers, Venom versus Spider-Man number 1, reprint, Amazing Spider-Man number 300, signed by comic book legend John Romita Sr. So I mean, we were talking, and we have it tonight, just the one for $500, but we can do a payment plan on this. So if you're interested, let us know, and we'll work it out with you.
There's Mr. Amita's signature
Yeah,
in
I
gold. I imagine
he
that's what
wasn't-
everything looks like.
Well,
He's signing
not-
a check. He busts it all comes out
Well,
in
you got to
gold.
keep in mind he hasn't even before the pandemic he wasn't really going to cons and stuff.
When you sort of get these Hall of Fame, legendary elder statesmen creators, I mean, let's be honest, traveling across the country and then, not to be mean, but you've got fans in Europe and Australia and Japan that are like, please come. Have you ever been on a flight to Australia? I don't understand it. It's like 7 days pass before you land.
No, it's not quite that bad. But I've flown that route about, you're looking at about 16 to 18 hours.
Yeah, I mean, I flew to Hawaii once, and I almost felt like I needed like mood stabilizers. I was on the plane so long. People flying to places like Japan, God bless, man, because I got to tell you,
it's a very
my
long
neighbor's
flight.
like, oh, I'm going to visit my son in Korea, and I'm like, I'll see you next year. I don't even know what time it is in Korea.
It's not really. It's about 12 hours. I don't know about Korea. Korea might be a little bit different.
You know what? My wife's company is headquartered in Japan, and they have offices in Korea, Vietnam. And when she does these Zoom calls, they're at all times of the day or night because she's, we're on Eastern Standard Time. What's 9 a.m. for them? Because everybody wants to hit it first thing in the morning, right? 9 a.m. in Seoul or in Osaka is very different than 9 a.m.
Well, I gotta tell you, my daughter and I used to do the flight once a year to visit my family in Taiwan, and obviously we haven't seen them now in a couple of years thanks to the pandemic, but it is a really, really long flight, and that is the only time I'll actually spring the budget and not fly economy because
I need to put my feet up and watch TV.
16 hours. That extra 3 or 4 inches in pitch, in your seat makes all the difference in the world. I can't even get into that.
And if you look back at the people in economy, it's almost like they've been sentenced to hell, especially after 12 hours on the flight.
Now, I don't fly, now on the 777s, they don't even have, the long haulers, they don't even have first class. It's business, then it's what they call premium economy.
Is that the one with the sofa? Where you're basically sitting on like a lazy boy?
The lay down with the little compartment and stuff. But what do you got there? Cable.
I have
cable
This is
number
the
one.
Remark alert. Ken Haeser, black blank variant.
Again, when he does this on black,
silver ink,
the metallic
signature,
ink, it's just amazing.
I almost feel at this point Ken's showing off now. You know what I mean? He's like, yeah.
I did that. So suggested retail of $89.99. Tonight we have it for $50, and we only have the one. But again, we talk about Remarks. I mean, when you talk about Remarks, they're all one of one, because they're all each individually individually sketched. So that is, which one is that?
That is
the starter set. So you're going to get guaranteed. I think we only have one, so it's guaranteed.
We have Archie #1.
Archie #1 signed by Mark Waid. Cryptozoic Man #1. The Dynamite Jetpack limited edition cover. And then,
if you watch Comic Book Man.
And then Army of Darkness Xena. Forever and a Day #1. One of 6 of the limited series. But this is the New York Comic Con edition. So that was a variant cover for New York Comic Con.
Ash and Xena,
and
Dynamite's Odd Couple.
So it has a retail value of all 3 books of $60, and tonight we have the one set for $30. So
price.
Yeah. So if anybody's interested in that, it is here.
One of the things that has been disappearing, what I'm told, are con editions and store editions. Like we had Jetpack, we have a few of these others. Those things are kind of disappearing because they're not doing them as much as they did before. Unfortunately, the stores, obviously, they're not doing as well as they had been. It's one of those things that's disappearing a little bit. So this is a $60 set for half price. This will not be cheaper the next time it's offered.
No, that's exactly right. I mean? And obviously limited in quantity. So let's see.
Another.
It's grabbing stuff now, John.
You know what? We're kind of coming up on what we were told. If we weren't off by 7:58, we were getting sued or something. Grumpy Cat
#1.
This might be the most out of the box thing that Dynamite did for me. I bought the book out of the sense of obligation and responsibility. This is a Ken Haeser remark. So, this sort of makes it all worthwhile.
So we have 2 available. Where's the other one?
Right here?
Yeah. Just pull that one out too, because I'm sure they're going to be a little bit different. So Ken Haeser sketch, again, we talk about him all the time, and the range that he has.
And when you look at his work side by side, you always see there are subtle little differences. Yep. We've had books that Ken has done where, like Punchline, he had her with a couple different colors of hair. The stripes were in a different order. They were in a different. And I think it was Wilfredo who had us put them side by side, so he could kind of compare and contrast.
So suggested retail of $59.99, but tonight we have it for $19.92, the year that Dynamic Forces launched.
And my life changed forever. No, I was going to say Dynamic Forces was just a thing I watched.
Your life changed forever. So did your poor wife's.
Her life improved because she didn't have to deal with me nearly as much because Nick was banging out comics I'd read. So where are Secret Wars?
Let's see. That is the let me see. That is the premium.
I was going to say this is the premium, sir. This isn't the starter kit, folks. This is the premium. This is
so we have Secret Wars #1, Dynamic Forces variant edition, signed by the original classic artist for the first time ever, Mike Zeck, and then X-Men #1 signed and remarked by Ken Haeser with a Spidey sketch, and Avengers Invaders #11, also a DF exclusive alternate cover by Alex Ross.
It's a great sketch, man. If you are a Spider-Man fan, that is a great sketch of Spider-Man.
So suggested retail of $155, and tonight we have it for $92, and we have 1.
Oh boy. By now, the people watching this have seen me put this up, and they're like, "Oh, that's going on the email, Rex." Yeah, totally is going on email, Rex.
Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, even in a kind of a black and white version, I mean, Alex Ross is just.
There's an argument to be made that Alex's stuff looks better when he does the pencil sketches. I have some rare stuff from Kingdom Come cards and stuff that they did, and you basically get to see his pencils, and you're like, whoa, like they're like a whole nother level of, of course his painting is insane, but this is literally, I think one of the sketches he did for Kingdom Come, he talks about he did with a carpenter's pencil. For those of you who know, carpenter's pencil is kind of like weirdly shaped, and you got to sharpen it with a pocket knife. He just got an idea, and he wanted to see what it would look like. And it was so cool, DC decided to make it one of like the chase trading cards for Kingdom Come. And if I remember correctly, it was also included in the slipcase for Kingdom Come. And I got to tell you, to think that, I don't know if I could write my name legibly with a carpenter's pencil. And here's Alex like, here's the greatest thing you've ever seen. And I'm like, okay, fair enough, man, fair enough.
Some of us have the gift, some of us don't. Those of us sitting here in front of the camera tonight do not.
Yeah, those of us.
So, oh, wait, the Man of Steel, the match set.
There is a match set of the Man of Steel.
So numbers 1 through 6, and we have 1, and this is a matching number set. So signed by Michael Bendis. Suggested retail of $99.99, and you can't go anywhere with that because it is a rare matching set. So when you're looking at, so when we have the 1 is 4. So 4 out of 175 copies that were signed. And again, they are matching sets. So all 6 will be number 4.
And we've talked about Brian Bendis. We've talked about how, he at one point essentially saves the Marvel Universe, 2000, 2001. He tells the story in interviews and podcasts about sitting in an office. The lights are off. Most of the desks are empty. The once venerable bullpen is, just basically being packed up and taken away. I believe at the time the owner of Marvel might have been like Revlon.
Yeah.
And they were just like, hey, do the comic books. We don't care. And that's when he decides to do the Ultimates. And that sort of dragged people back into Marvel. I think right around that time, people were very much into DC and Image, and there's always talk another Batman movie, and nothing gets eyes on DC like another Batman movie. It's just how it is. Every time someone says to me, "Why do they keep making Batman movies?" and I'm like, "Because people keep going.
Keep watching them. Yeah.
Movie theater's empty. You're not going to see it." I think Brian Bendis, that's for matching number set of books that he signed. I think $99 is as good as that Walking Dead price that we had before. It's you know what? These are things where, and I know people are like, oh, they're trying to sell books. Well, of course we are. I don't think we ever kind of deny that, but the big reason these books are discounted the way they are is because Nick is very much committed to, giving back to the community and giving back to the medium, the craft itself. Right. You know what I mean? This all started with, like we said, men and women sitting in offices, sitting at home in front of typewriters and on drawing boards, creating the seed universe with which people are estimating $50-60 billion in merch and movies and everything else.
I mean, when we were younger, which was way back in the day, we were all yearning for somebody to turn one of the comic characters that we loved into a movie. We talked about this previously. The horrible films that came out. There was the FF one that never even made
Roger Corman's.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I remember buying a VHS of the Roger Corman movie in Chinatown over in Philadelphia about a year. They used to have what they called the covered market. I don't know if people remember that back then. And I remember getting this thing home and...
slabs. Wilfredo finally joined us. Where you been, buddy? All right, we'll hit the slabs real fast before John continues with his very long stories.
And the show ends.
Wait, what?
And the show ends soon.
I was going to say, forget my stories. We only have a few
let's
minutes
see.
left.
All right, so Wilfredo, we have, which one do you have up there? Detective 1000?
This is Detective 1000.
All
this
right,
is Jock's 2000s variant.
Detective 1000, variant covered by Jock and CGC graded 9.8. We have the one at $89.99. And then we have Batman number 50. Comic sketch art, exclusive by Clayman, and also guaranteed CGC 9.8. Wilfredo's taken the, 1000. Okay, so Wilfredo, and then, Batman number 50, comic sketch art, romance exclusive by Clayman, CGC graded 9.8. Suggested retail of $89.99, but we're doing this one tonight at $50.
Another 5-star read.
And Wilfredo comes in and takes them both. All right, Wilfredo, they're yours, brother.
Wilfredo, these are really high grade, and I got to tell you, this...
We missed you, buddy. Where you been?
He just has to come in and get his books and go. He didn't need to hear all the stuff.
What? No, yeah, he does.
Wilfredo, this one in particular.
We know it's not the comics, Wilfredo. We know it's our entertaining banter.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness.
Come on, bro.
We still have, 5 minutes left?
Oh, let me go through the announcements again, man.
5 minutes left. Let me tell you the story about how I met Nick. No, I'm just kidding. Don't you?
God help us all. He was at the house. Okay. So, God help us all. John's going to tell that story again. Yeah, because, we do talk off air, so I got to hear these stories like twice. Just a reminder to everybody, we are having cosplay contests as part of our posted anniversary. Post pics of yourself in your best cosplay outfit and send it to hashtag the EXP cosplay. And then this Saturday and Sunday, we're celebrating being on the air for 6 months with our posted anniversary. We will have 18 hours of special programming over 2 days. And I promise it won't be just me and John talking for how many hours?
Like the old Jerry Lewis telethon. We'll be going to
it'll be like a Jerry Lewis telethon. And Wilfredo wants to take the Grumpy Cat. Okay, that is yours, buddy. Just find it on the list. All right. The Unknown wants us to go through it real quick. All right, so we're going to go through it. So no time for your banter. All right. So I'm going to read them off, Unknown. All right, here we go, buddy. Magnus, Robot Fighter, #1, high-end Tom Fowler vegan art, ultra limited. Tonight we have the one for $19.63. Pathfinder City of Secrets #1, ultra limited edition cover. This is our $10 for a perfect 10 read tonight. We only have one left as one was claimed. Red Sonja #11, high end Jenny Frison, vegan art, ultra limited. We have that tonight for $50, and we only have the one. Unknown, which one, buddy? Which one did you want? Just let us know, bud. Shadow year one #6, high end Alex Ross, vegan art, ultra limited. And we have this one tonight at $19.30. Oh, making John work now. Vampirella #28, high-end Paul Renaud, black and white, ultra limited cover. We have that tonight at $19.73. Unknown, bottom left. Which one is bottom left, buddy? Which one did you flash? All right, so which one is that?
Magnus?
Are you talking about the Magnus, buddy? I'm going to pencil you down. If I am incorrect, you have my email. Email me, let me know. Vampy28. Let me see, Vampy28. Okay, unknown. All right. So you do not want the Magnus, or you do? Let me know.
Vampy28's off the board.
Okay, Vampy28 is off the board. Where did I leave off? Anybody know? Where did I leave off? Okay. Warlord of Mars #25. Joe Jusko, vegan art, ultra limited at 50. Oh, so you want the Magnus too? Okay, got it, buddy. We got you.
Off the board.
All right. So where are we at? Joe Jusko. Where did I leave off?
This is like my little
The pressure. The pressure. Okay, yeah. We have that at $50 tonight.
This is a great.
Go through X-Men. All right, here we go. Unknown. We're going to go through the X-Men. We have X-Men #97, presumed grade of 8.5 for $175 tonight. We have X-Men #98, presumed grade of 9 for $250. Then we have X-Men #99, presumed grade of 8 for $125. Unknown wants Warlord of Mars. I'll get that in a second, buddy. X-Men #103, presumed grade
Warlord
of 8.
of Mars is sweet.
We have that tonight for $80. And X-Men #106, presumed grade of 8.5, and we have that for $95. And let me find the Warlord of Mars. Okay,
These X-Men books are in really. This might be like a new personal high for us in terms of.
And Unknown, I know we went through the X-Men pretty fast, buddy. If you want, you have my email, so you can definitely email me with questions. And we are at 7:59. So I know JD's ready to hit the button.
Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Thanks,
we really
thanks,
appreciate
everybody.
it. JD, takes us out of here.
We always love being here with you guys. Thank you again, guys.